Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to some Hearthstone. Now, earlier today, I made this as like a spin on the typical aggro deck, and it kind of runs. The whole idea is to run Reanimate the Terror. Earlier today, I watched Zeddy talking about there's a potential patch with buffs and nerfs coming up, right? I'm not gonna link to his video. Anybody that knows him can easily just ZEDDY Hearthstone in your little search bar. He'll pop up. Boom. He's a well-known content creator for the game, and he's like top 1,000 legend, so he's up there. Anyway, he was talking about some of the nerfs that may be coming, and he specifically spoke about flight maneuvers. Now, when I was playing Shatter Paladin, I said, this card, how could you nerf it? Now, you could nerf it by taking the Divine Shield off, but I don't think anybody would play it. Because that's kind of the hook. You have to have a board to be able to put the Divine Shield on it, and that's kind of what everybody wants. The 4/2 Drakes, you could make them 3/2 Drakes and it wouldn't matter. I don't think they'd still play it at 3/2 Drakes with a +1/+1 and a Divine Shield. They'd still become 4/3 Drakes. Nobody would care. If you take off the +1/+1, they'd still play it because it's the Divine Shield that's the big problem. Having to trade in twice to any single minion is exactly what the problem is. Because now this allows the Paladin to trade in on you if you don't trade in on them. So now, with that being the case, it's like, how would you nerf this card? You can't nerf it by buffing the mana. You buff it at mana, just like Zeddy says, and I agree with him. It'd be too slow, nobody would play it, the deck would just die. And you don't want that to happen, because right now you have, what, 3 Paladin decks? You have you have Gelbin, Aura Paladin, Aggro Paladin, and I think they have one called Bubble Paladin. So there's like a third one there, and that one's like a B tier deck. But anyway, you have 3 current Paladin decks in the meta. You have 3 current Warrior decks in the meta. And he was talking about other cards that potentially need to be nerfed. And I do agree with him on this one. Back to Warrior. That needs to be nerfed back down to a 1/1. A 1 mana 2/1 gives you a dragon with a dark gift is ridiculous. Way too strong, needs to go. 100% agree with Drake Rider getting a nerf. Or Dark Rider getting a nerf. As for cards that need a buff, now if he was talking buffs, he was saying that... Where is it? He was saying the Obsessive Technician should go to a 3 mana 3/4. That's the exact buff I called for. I was perfectly fine making it a 3 mana 2/4. That's basically Gnomeregan Engineer, I think it was. It's an old card. Hold on. No, it's not Engineer. Maybe it's a 4 mana card. It was a 4 mana 2/4 draw card. It's an old card. Might have been a 3 mana 2/4 draw card. But again, even at a 3 mana card, it would be great. It's a common too. They may have Hall of Famed it. It's that old. Right there. Gnomish Inventor. 4 mana 2/4. If you made... if you made the 4 mana from Death Knight into a 4 mana 2/3, people would play it. If you made it into a 4 mana 2/4, people would play it. Well, no, sorry, 4 mana 2/4. It's a 3 mana 2/4, people would play it because it's got the Battlecry Herald, it's got Lifesteal. You just knock a health point off of it, knock a mana point off of it, you're good. That'd be a great card. You can curve right into it. That's one card he was saying that they should buff. Another card he was saying they should buff is the Experimental Animation. He's like, knock a damage off of it, or knock a mana cost off of it. You buff it by giving it an extra point of damage at 6 mana, or knocking a point of damage off of it and knocking a mana point, or just knocking a mana point off of it at 5 mana, and then above it. I say neither. Knock a damage point off of it, make it a 4 mana card. Then you got your 1 on 3, you have a 4 mana clear on 4. and you have a 5-mana Herald on 5, that would smooth out the deck. You could then start running Corrupted Ashbringer on 6 or Gnome Muncher, something like that. It allows it to smooth out that progression as Herald Death Knight, and it wouldn't overpower the class. Because again, you're going to be spending health to play the minions. Then he was talking about Warlock, and that Warlock has a lot of good cards from the set, and he went down specifically to Cataclysm. And they got a great bunch of cards in the set. I mean, Curse Chains is incredible. Shadowsworn Disciple, using both of those in conjunction, that's a 4-mana targeted clear of a really sticky minion. They just, like, Ravam's Last Stand is a really good card because it gets around Elusive. They got good cards in the set, but they just, like, Eldritch Tentacles is one of the best board clears I've seen this side of Showdown in the Badlands. But there's a lot of cards, and he says the card that needs the most work is Cho'Gall Mastermind. And he thinks that they should just have the arms and soldiers have Taunt and destroy minions in the enemy's deck instead. I think that's a bad change. I don't think this card needs to change. Not one bit. Here's why. This card is perfectly fine as is. It brings out, you'll get 2 12/12s on the board at the end of turn, and you're eating 2 minions out of the deck, at the very least. Now, let's say they kill Cho'Gall. Now your arms are eating one another. Okay, fine and dandy. Instead of making them have Taunt, which would be a problem, because then it would be like, oh, they only have Taunt as long as Cho'Gall's on the field. Okay, well, now he's just targeted removal. They wait until 9, they hex him, you just lost everything anyway, and now they don't have Taunt. And you don't want Warlock to have that late game sticking power. If you wanted something that big with Taunt, it already exists in Standard, you've already got it, and it's right there. Now, if you want to run something to really anger somebody, play Archwitch Willow. You play her. If you have one of these in your hand, and one of these in your deck, that's 2 3/9 taunts on the board. You have late game sticking power for taunt. You don't need your Cho'Gall giving you taunts. You just don't. I think it's a bad idea. What I think needs to be changed, Maloriak. I think Maloriak needs to be changed. You have a lot of discard value in Cataclysm. When you look at it, you've got a ton of discard Cataclysm stuff. You have Disposable Acolytes, you have Ocular Occultist, you have Duke of Below. Just those 3 alone, paired with anything else that exists in Standard that allows you to discard, such as, let me get back to it, not playing the temporary minions off of Blood Petal Biome. Not playing your temporary minion that you get from Cursed Catacombs. Not playing the temporary beasts that come from the 4/3. The 3-mana 4/3 Tunnel Terror. Just don't play the minions. Those all count as discards. Then, what they should do, and this is where I said I think I've come up with the way to fix Maloriak. You change Maloriak. You don't change the stats, you don't change the mana cost, you leave them as is. 7 mana, 7/7 dragon. Leave it. You change his ability that says to where it says Battle Cry. Return all cards discarded this game to your hand once per game. That way you can't conjure up a Maloriak. You can't just somehow get more than one. And it allows you to use the synergy with the neutral mana 3 mana 3/4. He's over here. So you play Gemstone, you throw a card away. He dies, it comes back 1 mana cheaper. Let's say you play Gemstone and throw it away again. Okay? It'll come back 1 mana cheaper after that. However, you play Maloriak, you'll get 2 copies of that card because you've discarded it twice. So, that would allow Gemstone Hoarder to be more important, and you would actually see it seeing play in the game. And then the opponent will then have to think, okay, well, do I want to silence the Gemstone or do I want to hex the Gemstone? What am I doing here? and they would have to make that difficult call. Now, here's the fun part. You could make Gemstone Hoarder work with Umbra. Let's say you play Gemstone Hoarder, you discard 2 cards, Death Rattle, get them back. That's a Death Rattle. Play her. Now you're generating more cards. Now you have Meloriac, now you're generating even more cards. This is why you put the Meloriac limit on, so that you can't Meloriac, and let's say you discard Meloriac and get it back for 1 mana cheaper. And then you play Meloriac and you get the discarded card. Now you can't play the second Meloriac and get a third. That's why you put once per game. That's how you fix Meloriac. And they need to make that discard a thing. That way you're not penalizing the class for discarding. It allows you to not have to go all in on Duke of Below. Because if you look at Duke of Below, it's Rush, 2/2 for each card discarded this game. You need to be able to somehow have this be a late game threat or a mid game threat. Not necessarily, like, you could make almost a mid-range Warlock around Duke of Below and Destructive Phoenix. If they changed Meloriac. Because then you wouldn't have to play around Destructive Phoenix exactly discarding a card from your hand at 7 to get Meloriac value. You could also run Chrono Claws and swing into face 3 times. That's 12 damage. Knowing that you're just going to get the cards back with Meloriac Battlecry, that's why you change Meloriac to Battlecry. If they were to do that, and they were to change Meloriac to a Battlecry, you would see people buying Diamond Meloriac that fast. In a heartbeat. Because it's a good card idea. It's a good card idea. Trust me. Now, Primordial Lord. 6 mana, 7/6, elemental with a Battlecry, get a random Colossal Minion from the past. There's very few Colossal Minions you want to get from the past. And when you get them, it's like, do you feel good getting them? Not exactly. But I'm going to play one of the aggro, the spin on the aggro deck, and then I'm going to play some Big Druid. Now, my Big Druid's just a little bit different from Marithra Druid, because I put Ajara in my Big Druid, whereas Marithra Druid doesn't run it. And Marithra Druid's about just building up toward the dragon, get that payoff from the dragon, which, by the way, I had a crazy game the other day, where I had 3 Marithras. And it did end up winning me the game. Sorry, I just bumped that.
I'm cold as ice.
We don't want that. Falric's okay. Because Falric allows me to draw corpses. Or draw a card that spends corpses. Then I can just curve from this into this. Into this. Lion Weight Rogue. Interesting. He's probably sitting there thinking, wait a minute. Quest? Quest DK? Strange. There's not enough shuffling, even with Sheltered Survivor. Because he plays that, he plays the... Yep. That's just aggro value right there. But you almost have to have the perfect opening hand for it. Obviously, he's going to trade in there because he doesn't want the leech to sit around.
No fate.
Wow. All right.
The citadel stands strong.
That was yesterday's not a bad card either. Monstrous Mosquito. It might be a little late for the Mosquito.
Find me in the dream.
I mean, I'd almost have to Shadows of Yesterday to get the Mosquito, but... I know, I just shuffled more cards in. Also not worried about it either. As I'm thinking about playing Falric, which will grab Corpse Farm.
The citadel stands strong.
But yeah, I need the corpses. I need to not spend the corpses, so I need the corpses there. And then this should draw me corpse farm. Oh no, it's okay. Gives me more ants. Now he has to answer the mosquito. He's gonna trade into the mosquito, guaranteed. Which then next turn gives me enough stuff on board to clear what he's got and then play the shadows. Yep. I knew that was gonna happen. And I knew that was gonna happen. But now I can play the shadows and then swing face, and then kill off his spider. I can also swing face with that the next turn after.
Heads or shells.
God, I hate it when they get that card. Like, I hate it when they get it with Lifesteal. The +3 in Lifesteal is just absolutely gut-wrenching. There's Body Bagger. Two rush minions, 3 rush minions. I'm gonna keep that.
Lost to die. Lost to die.
There we go. Now I can play Command Claw, add Chillfallen. Awfully slow rogue deck. You'd figure it would be much faster, but... Surprise, surprises. Hey, there's Corpse Farm.
The citadel stands strong. Lost to die.
Alright, well,
Lost to die.
we'll take it.
Me have that for you.
Play the Corpse Farm, get the random 8 cost. He's obviously going to trade in. He has to. I'll just drop both of these. Both Souls Rests.
The Ariel is slain.
Wow. That goes, yep. That goes there.
Look right past me.
Okay, that goes there. This is it. There's another taunt minion. Yep. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a lot. I still have it, I think. I still think I have lethal. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but I think I do. Because now he can't play that and get armor. Oh yeah, he's just giga dead. Soulrest. It's not a bad deck. Yeah, obviously I didn't get, to play the corpse farm, which that's what it's there for. The only thing is with corpse farm, you have to not get an undead. If you get an undead at the 8 mana minion, you're pretty much just boned with how that works, because you're supposed to Memoriam Manifest your Tyrax. And then you're supposed to use the death rattles from Umbra
Cold as ice.
to bring back your Tyraxes. That's the whole goal. But see what I mean? It wasn't a bad deck. I mean, yeah, it just beat, Lion Weight Rogue, which... whatever. And if he's Herald Shaman, I'm just gonna knock these down to indicate how many Heralds he's done. Don't get me wrong, I love having a deck tracker to show what I'm playing. What is... I'm sorry, there's so many people playing random stuff now.
Me have that for you.
Earlier, they were not playing like this at all. They were, like, dead on meta. Maybe now people have just decided they want to have some fun. And try other archetypes. Which I love that. Yeah, it's gotta die. Wow, it had Rush. They legitimately gave it Rush. This is gonna anger him, I think. Playing Falric next turn is not bad either, because then again, it can either get me ants, which then I can play and get immediate value out of the ants, or it's gonna... How? I'm sorry, I'm lost here. You want to run that by me one more time? Yeah, see, it did get me Morbid Swarm. What he needs to do is he needs to kill off my minions, so I can get corpses. Not with a Thunderstorm, but that's probably what it'll be with a Thunderstorm. Wow. Double spell damage? Are you absolutely joking? Really? You're gonna go face? I'm sorry. I only traded one into there. How on earth did I... Oh no, I sent the ghoul into it. I should have sent the ghoul into the face. 5 minions. If he kills more... I mean, I could have traded all the way in. Didn't really care to. Yeah, see, now I'm gonna just... now I'm just gonna drop a dookie nuke on his head next turn. By doing this. Going like this, and then this. There you go. And then go in there. And then go in there. See what I mean about getting the 8 cost? 8 cost on 6, it's a great value. Nobody runs Corpse Farm. Literally nobody runs Corpse Farm. They don't even run it in aggro deck. You can run it in triple aggro and still just be mean. Just be absolutely mean-spirited with it in aggro. Sweet. He's just gonna play another one. If he had Hex, that would actually be better, but he doesn't have it. Okay, you got Ashelon. You're just dead, though. Yeah, he's just dead on board. This deck is crazy. This deck is absolutely crazy. The Corpse Farm is absolutely bananas. You don't even need Falric to generate the corpses. Like, if you get ants, the first 2 in there, it's crazy. And it'll just go, it'll go off the deep end. Now, Quest Hunter, they added something to Quest Hunter, which was Confront the Tol'vir. So if you complete the quest, you play Confront the Tol'vir, you get the quest again. Yeah. I'm going to try that. I just think they need to change up the, I think they need to change up Maloriak. I honestly believe if they change him to a battle cry, it's going to be... Because then you're going to watch people dropping a ton of power on people. This is actually pretty good, except for the Confront the Tol'vir. But I don't want to get rid of it. I'm going to keep it. Because that is 1, I can coin him out on 2. Yeah, that gives bananas, but whatever. Boy, somebody with more dollars than cents. Play that on 2. Play that on 3. Play that on 4. You know what? We're gonna do it. That way I can stay ahead of the armor. Headhunter's Hatchet. I mean, I could keep almost concurrent with the armor. But he's either Dragon Warrior or he's Herald. He might be playing Patron. There are very few people actually playing Patron Warrior. Patron. Herald and the other one don't run that as Patron. 100% Patron. I just need a 3 attack beast. And a 7. 3 and a 7. And then I can confront the Tolvir and get it again. Means he's got the Destructive Blaze. Yep. It could be Arena Warrior, but I doubt it. That's immediately dying with Ravensaur Matriarch, I am sorry to say. Absolutely not having that thing around. So either here comes Destructive Blaze, or he's going to wait a turn and play Gladiator's Arena. If he plays Gladiator's Arena, that's a problem. Or it's Herald. Interesting. Wow, Dracorex. Interesting. I mean, I have to play it because I need a 3 attack beast. There's another 5 attack beast. Can't get to that. Probably could play the Hollow Dire Horn. I need a 7 attack beast. If I could get that 7 attack Rush Kindred off the top, that'd be great.
Get back.
He's gonna trade there and hope the 2 goes to the dragon. Yeah, it's definitely Patron or Arena. Yep. I could have played the Arrow Retriever, but eh. You don't help me much. There we are. Next turn I play Shock. Back to Jungle Tyrant into eventually confront the Tolvir. You better have something with Rush or Charge. Otherwise, you're just in trouble, my friend. I could just play that and then play one of the 2-cost beasts. Which, if it's Agamagan, then I'm just gonna play the Great Dracorex. Ooh. You're gonna just swing face. Really? There's Agamagan. Omen. Sure. Agamagan into Dracorex. Next turn is just going to be confront the Tolvir into Shadowflame. I think what he's thinking is if I can stay ahead of the hunter, I win. Go ahead, kill shock. Does not matter to me one iota.
Get back.
None of this matters. I could just play Omen too, which I might. But first, I want to show him Despair. I don't have room. Okay, that dies. Now I have room.
Forces of night. Strike with you, strike with you.
Yeah. Confront the Tol'vir, allowing me to get another Shock the Jungle Tyrant, is disgusting. And there's 2 Confront the Tol'vir in here, which allows me to get more Shock. He's just dead. Omen lol. It's kind of nasty, I mean, not gonna lie. The Imbue deck for Shaman kind of changed a little. It's kind of interesting, and I like it. I probably am going to lose, but the way they've changed Imbue is the one Imbue elemental that Shaman has, it says it now targets a thing in your hand and reduces its cost by 1. Instead of it being random, you can now specifically select which one you want reduced. I usually choose Plucky Podling.
Throw versus Rathion.
It's time to begin my plans.
I will lead the Horde to its destiny.
The other choice that isn't bad is... That's an awful start. I mean, Flight of the Firehawk's nice, but... Others not so good. I guess I'm going to Flight of the Firehawk, because then I could get the Elemental. Never mind.
By petal and sword.
He's probably thinking, wait, Imbue Shaman. Because he was probably all sure in his head that it was going to be Herald Shaman. I think there's a few Herald cards in here, but I don't think that they're for anything but to just be a nuisance, realistically.
Step forth into the time.
Probably just going to trade and then heal. That way I can Imbue again. Yep.
Thorn in your side.
Now I can play to the Firehawk. Ascendance is gross too, by the way. Transform all friendly minions into ones that cost 1 more. They summon the originals when they die. Fun times. Herald Warrior. Is that what we're looking at? Ooh, more chalk.
Thorn in your side.
Play Petal Picker, because I've imbued twice, which then allows me to draw. I don't care if he kills my minion. Yeah, it's Herald. Oh, cool.
Follow the flutter-wing.
Play King's Hammer, too. Start swinging. Or I could just go Petal Picker into Petal Picker. Either way, because at a draw 1, it gives me more card draw. That's gonna go face when he swings with it. Oh, that was a whoopsie. Yep, there's the torch. Now he's doing 7 damage to face. Yeah, it's your typical Herald Dragon Warrior. Yeah, I'm probably gonna lose this one. It's alright. Normally it's a slow deck, but you know it's one of those things you have to branch out and try stuff. You know what I mean? So there's a plucky podling. Yeah, Boulder Fist Ogre. Great stats for the cost. Everybody that knows the joke knows the joke. You know, you know. He's got a torch. Boom. I like Torch. Torch is a nice card. Yeah, I'm just dead. Yep, sure am.
My hand is too full.
There's the Hex.
It's not a valid target.
He dies, he casts Ascendance, and everybody goes up a tier, and then comes back down. I low rolled on the cards I picked up. Like, if I didn't have those, I probably would have done better. I didn't get all my imbue cards, so yeah. I am just dead because all he has to do is play the other Searing Flames or whatever. For that. That helps me. It actually doesn't, but whatever. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, of course it did that.
You win this.
Evolved him into something that was worse. Like I said, it's a fun deck, but I got what, 3 imbues? When you take a look at it, I think I've got every single imbue card in there except the Dreamweaver that gives him health. Yeah, Living Garden is in there. Bitterbloom's Night, Aspect, Flutterwing, and I saw what, 1 Flutterwing, 2 Petal Pickers, a Bloom Knight, and an Aspect's Embrace. It's got great curve though, if you take a look. Right, goes right through. I mean, I could probably take out an Ascendance. Actually, I'll probably take out a Petal Picker and put in, what's her name? There you go. Even if I played her, I don't think it would have mattered. I think I would have just been dumped anyway. To be truthfully honest with you. But that's going to do it for today. I have all my quests done. There's this one that's got Turn Up to Heat. And you get that in 4 hours. And then that should put me just about to here, depending on what this one is. I should definitely have this done by the end of the week. Not the end of the week, sorry. The end of the event. And when I do, I think it's going to be great. But I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Try that aggro spin deck. And if you need to see it, actually, I'll leave a link in the comments, too. For this one. Because I think it's fun. I mean, you get the Living Paradoxes and stuff like that. You have Talanji's Last Stand. It's just good. It curves out at 7. And again, Corpse Farm can really just sway the fight for a 3-mana card. Truthfully. But at any rate, I hope everybody has a fantastic evening, a wonderful tomorrow. Check the link in the comments below for, not the comments, check the link in the description box for that deck list. And I hope everybody has just a wonderful time. It's nearing the end of April, and I hope everybody's summer just works out great. And as always, have a good one.